Tonight, live from Virginia Beach, Virginia, podcasting all things musical from Southeast Virginia. Our sound, our songs, our artists, and our business. Welcome to SEVACAST with host Tom Farley and Alton Riddick. Let's get talking.
Thanks for the kind introduction, Alton. And I am on the airways with an old friend. We go back a long, long ways, almost 30, over 30 years. Back to Sierra and playing Chick's Beach Cafe and all kinds of good stuff. Plus, I've had interactions with members of his bands, and it's just a really nice collaboration over the years. Mr. Brent Gable from Acredale, and really glad to be talking to you tonight, man.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Let's get right into it. Want to find out exactly how you actually got into what you were doing or what you have been doing over the decades with your music. So where did you start that journey as a musician? And also, where did you start your journey as a songwriter?
Man, my journey as a musician. I mean, that's a long story, man.
Well, you get us started. If it goes over 30 minutes, I'll catch you off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think kind of the first time I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan would have been when I really got affected by music. And, I was probably like, I don't know, what was that, 63, 64, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
So I was like 6 years old and just watching like the reaction of not just the girls, because the girls are screaming. I think I was probably still throwing rocks at girls at that point. So I don't think that was, really what kind of inspired me. But it was just like, hey, Dad, I've got to have a guitar, So yeah, I don't know, man. That was one of the main things that really kind of got me into it, and just everything that was happening during that time.
What was your first guitar?
Wow, it was a really bad Sears Silvertone. It was a classical guitar, but it had steel strings on it, and I literally didn't know how to tune the thing. And the strings were about a half an inch off the neck, and I would play it until my fingers bled.
I know that feeling. I had the same thing with my first guitar was an electric, and it sucked. I mean, it was just set up so horrible.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I just loved it, and I just really wanted to play. There was some sort of drive, that just, I don't know how to explain it. But
what kind of music did you actually start playing at first?
I mean, it's kind of weird. When I first started playing guitar, I kind of started writing stuff. I mean, just really goofy stuff. But, me and a couple of guys around the neighborhood kind of played guitar together, and we would just make up songs and
having some fun.
Yeah. I mean, I was obviously trying to learn some Beatles stuff and, whatever was popular at that point on the radio.
So as a songwriter, I mean, I think everybody goes through the early, either totally over romantic or totally goofy song thing. But when did you really start, honing your craft, so to speak? I mean, you got some really great tunes out there.
Well, thanks, man. I would say probably early 20s or something like that. I really started trying to dig in, and I was listening to people like James Taylor and, Dan Fogelberg and whatever. I mean, the Beatles, obviously.
Great songwriters.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't even know where the songs came from.
That's my next question. As far as the inspiration, I mean, a lot of people get it from a lot of different places. Where did you get yours from?
Well, I mean, I think now I tend to write kind of like story songs. And I'll get just ideas all the time. I mean, it can be literally getting out of the shower and going, this is a really thick towel. I like thin ones. I think I'll write a song about that,
Yeah.
So yeah, just stuff like that. Relationships with my wife. And a lot of times I actually, like, even watching movies or watching stuff on TV, I'll just kind of lock into the feeling of a character and kind of write a song based on that or from that perspective.
Do you let you ever have those moments where you totally let your emotions just kind of take over, or you pretty much stick to a storyline?
I mean, I would hope to think that I'm, projecting some emotions through my writing.
Oh, sure.
But I mean, well, there's a song that you were saying that you liked, Daddy Was a Painter. It's basically a song about alcoholism, but it's through the eyes of a young boy kind of taking care of his dad, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Daddy was a painter. He used to paint the town red. He'd come home late at night, and I'd help him find the bed. He said, Mama up and left back when I was a little kid. Oh, Daddy was a painter. He used to paint the town red.
My dad never drank, so it wasn't something that I'm writing from actual experience. It's just something that I thought about one time, and just started writing it through that perspective, as opposed to, my dad didn't drive a pickup truck. I never saw him drink at all, but I've certainly seen what it's done to people.
Oh yeah.
So ideas just come from everywhere. I mean,
yeah, they do. After playing in bars, in restaurants, you can certainly see how alcohol impacts a lot of people. That's for sure. And that's a great song as far as covering that topic in a really, really good way.
Well, thanks.
You don't get into this thing, yes, whether it's recording or performing or whatever the case might be. Where did you get the bulk of the, I guess you could say, support and that pat on the back that actually kept you going?
When I started out, I was single. So I would say just support of my friends, other players who liked what I was doing or whatever. And then later on when I met my wife, which we actually met when I was playing music in a bar on New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah.
So she loves music. She's always loved music. And that must have been part of the allure, because I certainly married up. I can tell you that.
I feel the same way, man. Hey, I met Tanya when I was playing too. The very first gig that I had, she was a bartender at a place where I was playing, and that's how we met. So it's amazing how music can really put a great attraction to all the right people.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, man, how or when did you decide, and how did you actually go about getting in to record your first album?
I think the first one that I did was with Sierra. You mentioned Sierra before.
Oh, yeah. I had the cassette on that.
Yes. So that was the first one. It was on a cassette. And we were playing out, and we had a lot of original music. And at some point, we just decided, why don't we try this? Why don't we see if we can, make a product and get it out there and try to get our songs heard? Yeah, it was just an avenue to get our original music out there,
So tell our listeners a little bit of something about Sierra. Who are the people in it, and how did you all actually kind of, come together, so to speak?
Man, that's another long story. So obviously it was me. There was Mary Lou Hewson at the time. She was the other songwriter in the band. So we basically traded back and forth. Then there was Dave Mills on bass, Mike Munden, who I have played with in one incarnation or another for my entire time playing music. So we've known each other since... Wow, I think the first time we met was at Fantastic Fenwick's. Remember that place?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Cam and I play there, and Cimarron play there an awful lot.
Yeah, we met at it was like an all-night music marathon, and I think it was like a benefit for muscular dystrophy or something like that.
Yeah.
And we met there that night and hit it off. And I was playing some banjo that night, and Mike's a fantastic banjo player. I'm a hack. But so he was like, man, you're like the first banjo player I've met, and we just kind of hit it off. And the rest is history. I mean, Mike is just an amazing player.
He is.
He plays everything from pedal steel to mandolin to, he used to play fiddle. He doesn't do that anymore. But
I know. I played fiddle on the Calm Before the Storm. I did Landslide, and the title cut to that album. Did an amazing job. I love listening to his parts on that.
Yeah.
David's excellent too. He's playing with everybody in the studio, and he's just a great player. It's nice to still have those relationships with people who are still playing.
Oh, absolutely. And Dave actually comes out and plays with us from time to time when we do like larger, festival kind of gigs or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dave is just like so great and such a lovely man. He's such a great guy.
Guys, it got more taste than most musicians deserve. That's for sure.
Man,
really has. Same thing with Mike. I mean, they're both just wonderful. Do you? We've been playing a long time. Do you believe that you've developed a style that you can call your own over the years, whether it's on guitar, or banjo, or whatever?
Yeah, but it's probably an amalgamation. I mean, you would say the same thing, but any of us that play are, standing on the shoulders of giants because we learn from listening to, the greats. So, I mean, I tend to, I hope that my playing has kind of a groove to it. That's what I kind of go for. I mean, I do a lot of finger style stuff, and I think I lean heavily into the blues, but not really like your standard kind of blues guy for sure. But country blues, I guess.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you talk about the influences. Who are those people that you sat around and tried to sponge off of over the years?
Wow. I mean, anybody that tickled my eardrums, I mean, just, people obviously like James Taylor. I mean, he's an amazing guitar player, and just his phrasing and stuff is just crazy.
Yeah, he is.
Even then people like, I listen to a lot of like Little Feat, even stuff like David Bromberg. I went through a long period where I did a lot of, went to all the bluegrass festivals and listened to all those guys, the Doc Watsons and Tony Rices and those guys. Not that I think I'm anywhere near what they are, but, so I think, I think I have a good ear and I can pick out really tasty stuff. And that's from listening to those kind of guys,
Well, do you have any, I guess you could say influences? I know I do, but, on as far as like recording, I mean, like I want my recordings to sound like that. I want my guitar to sound like that, or any kind of production, overall production people that you kind of keyed to as far as when you actually started getting in the studio and doing your own stuff.
I mean, I really try to lean towards getting a real authentic sound from the guitar. So I would like it to feel like you're sitting in the room listening to me play, as opposed to having a lot of effects on it. So, right. With the Acredale CD, Rich Mossman did all the recording on it, and that guy's phenomenal for just getting everything to sound exactly like it should. Putting two mics on the guitar and just making it sound real,
Yeah, he also worked with Ken McNeil and other people, and he's done great jobs with all the production that he's worked with.
Oh yeah, he did Julie Clark's CD. He's done a lot of stuff. He's just. I can't say enough good things about him. I mean, he really has that ear,
So what are your favorite tunes? Which ones of your originals do you really key to, in terms of that's just a, special spot in my heart, so to speak, kind of song?
I've got one called Seeds of Gray and Blue. That's a Civil War song, which, may or may not be a great thing to sing about in today's environment. But, it ends up with basically some fool in town saying the South shall rise again, So it's definitely like, I'm not, I was born in Virginia, but I don't consider myself like a Yahoo rebel kind of guy. You know what I mean?
You haven't got your stars and bars on your on your pickup truck, that kind of thing.
No. I'm not flying the colors, man. But it's a story song, and it has a little bit of a twist to it, and
I love that song. That's when I listened to the album, that was the first one that I really kind of took to.
Never seen before. One thing's for certain. It's the poor who fight the wars. It's the poor who fight the wars. And when I think back on it, I can't believe it's true. This old farm's been planted with the seeds of gray and blue, but nothing seems to grow here, it's an unfamiliar brew. Whoa, the seeds of gray and blue, seeds of gray and blue, seeds of gray and blue, seeds of gray and blue.
Yeah, and then I would say I know we're talking about the album, but I also, some of my favorite songs are what I'm writing right now. You know what I mean?
I understand. I got some on the back burner that I'm in love with right now. So, are you planning on releasing these things anytime soon?
Well, I tell you what, I'm actually doing something pretty cool right now, which I've always written by myself. Right? Mm-hmm. I've always just written in the comfort of my own home or in my own room or whatever. And recently I've been getting together with a guy named Rob Oliver. If you, I
know Rob Oliver.
Yeah. I thought you would be familiar with him. I think
he's got good stuff on the station, man. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. He's just he's a great songwriter and just has this real chill delivery. And he's a phenomenal guitar player, man. But anyway, we've been getting together for the last, month or so, and have been working on songs together. And actually we got together today and wrote an entire song in like 2 hours, which was a blast. So that
sounds like fun, man.
That's pretty exciting stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's
no doubt about it.
Totally uncharted waters for me because like I say, I've never written with anybody else.
But that means creativity is fresh and new.
Yeah. And it's, it kind of it spurs you on, because you're sitting there in a room with a guy and you're like, hey, what's the next line going to be?
Understood.
Have you done that? Have you written with other people or?
I've written with Tanya before, but not with anybody else. I've toured around with working with Dave Edwards. He and I have been collaborating on one thing or another for almost 40 years. But I haven't actually, done it with anybody outside of Tanya. Tanya and I have had some really nice moments together. We did Free Me together, and that was ended up being a really, really great production. So I enjoy it, but lots of times it's just a matter of getting together and having that consistent, ability to just kind of hang out and enjoy the creative moments, so to speak, which you haven't really had all that much of here with the virus and so forth, and people being busy and isolated or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you got some great songs. Have there been performances? In other words, concerts or particular performances, collective collaboration of musicians that have really, been benchmark moments for you?
Yeah, way back in the day when we had Sierra going, and that was in, I don't know, early 90s, I guess. We had we opened up for America, so that was pretty cool. And then we we did some opening things for, we opened up for David Wilcox, who is another phenomenal guitar player. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not, but he's
not really. No.
Yeah, you should check out some of his stuff. He's pretty amazing. And with Acredale, we've done some things. We really haven't played out that much. Like, we haven't been the standard kind of, playing in bars kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we've done this, the Norfolk Festival, which they have every year at O'Connor's Brewery.
Right.
We've done that for 4 years. We got a chance. Brenda Barkley had us come out and open up for Steel Wheels, which was really, really a sweet night. And it was just a really nice venue. It was at the, what's that high school on Princess Anne Road, the Catholic high school? I forget now, but they have a really nice auditorium, just felt very professional, very nice.
As long as you got somebody pretty good on the board, you're kind of good to go, so to speak.
Yeah, the sound was really good, and it was just a really wonderful audience, man. It was, the Tidewater Friends of acoustic music kind of crowd.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So those folks are just, they're top shelf. They're sitting there really listening and.
Yeah, they are a great audience. I played in front of them before too, and they're a wonderful audience. Mm-hmm. They really are.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: you mentioned that you're not playing as much out, or don't do the usual play in a club kind of gig thing. So, as far as you're sitting right now, how important are public performances to your musical life? I mean, do you feel like you're missing out, or do you feel like, well, I'll take one when it looks good, and otherwise I can live without it?
Yeah, I mean, right now with the whole COVID thing, there's not that much going on. I will tell you something that is kind of cool right now is Carl Wern is doing this virtual open mic night on Facebook every Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And, man, I just got sucked into that. And it's so cool because I'm going to say 30 to 50 people, maybe, do an offering every Wednesday night. So you've got this whole diverse crowd of people from really all over the planet. I mean, there's a couple of guys sending stuff in from France. But it's kind of like, it's really refreshed me being a part of that. And it just, it feels like community because everybody listens to each other's stuff. People comment and it's a very cool thing, man, during this time to have something like that going on.
Oh yeah. I've several of the people that we've had on SEVACAST are into that. Talked to Bobby Blackhat, and he was one of the first ones to actually do one of the live performances, the streaming, and all the rest of that stuff. It's getting better, and I think that taking it from your garage, doing it in your pajamas, to something a little bit more professional and a little bit more, I guess you could say, expansive in terms of variety, is really opening up an awful lot of exposure to not only the people in the area, but just the possibilities that particular kind of, I guess you could say, virtual venue can offer.
Yeah. And one thing about this is most people aren't doing it live. So they're actually like, I'll pick out a song that I want to do. I'll set up my tripod with my iPhone and I'll just record it and then, send the video in, sometime during the day on Wednesday. And
this is not a total live stream.
No, it's not a live stream. So a lot of the stuff is really a lot higher level because I kind of agree. I've seen some live stream stuff and it's like, the sound is so bad. It sounds really, washed out, digitized. And it's just like, yeah, you're really not putting your best foot forward. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that, like pre-recording it and then putting it out there. But even doing that, just seeing all the different people that send their stuff in and just, man, there's an amazing array of talent around here.
Oh yeah.
It's just,
you're
it's pretty
preaching to the choir there, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's I'm getting constantly getting I guess you could say it's slowed down a little bit, but I'm getting new people to petition to go onto the station all the time, and there's a wide variety. I mean, it goes all the way from heavy metal to this is one girl, Alana David, who basically it's just her and a guitar. Mm-hmm. And but she does, her songs are really good, and it does so well in terms of expanding the different types of approaches to well, certainly her style would be acoustic music, but the thing, it just offers a different perspective on how people can actually get their music out there, and she does a good job. And plus, there's a wide variety of really, really great artists that are cranking out good stuff. As a matter of fact, I petitioned for some of the artists on the station to send me in new releases, and I've gotten about 7 or 8, and all of them are just seriously good. So I'm really, I'm excited the fact that not only are they on the station now, but they're going to be providing good stuff, in the not too distant future. I should be, do a new releases playlist here in the next couple of weeks, and it's just. They amaze me. It's not all one particular genre. It's a wide variety. Even have one guy, Mark Rogers, has a bossa nova tune. So it's they're out there.
Yeah, Mark Rogers sends stuff into to the open mic night too.
So I mean, yeah, there are people just need to take a look and take a listen and realize that this is where it's happening. I mean, there's so much good stuff here. If you're looking for new music, you can find it here. If you're looking for great artists and performers, you can find them here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully, so I was telling you about me and Rob Oliver. We're planning on doing an EP together. So we'll be getting that to you whenever that comes out.
That sounds wonderful, man. I got he came on board about, 3 or 4 months ago with his album, and it's wonderful. It's a really good representation, I think, of his playing and writing style. And so you guys together should kick ass pretty good.
I hope so, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this. I know that you're doing the thing with the virtual venue, and you're working with Rob. Is there any other, I guess you could say, business of music that you're getting into outside of recording or performing or anything like that?
No, I haven't really been doing any of that. I've looked into, there's a thing called Artlist. Have you heard of that?
I have.
Yeah. So I've kind of, some friends of mine, that actually live on the same street as I do, that the band is called The Hunts. They've been putting some of their stuff on there, and they've been ending up on, I want to say like a movie or something, but not sure how much, money you make from doing that kind of stuff.
You can make a ton of money from doing that.
Tell me more, man.
Yeah. No, Seva Sound, which is, Radio Seva is part of Seva Sound.
Right.
We have a music licensing brokering. I mean, you can go in and get your stuff licensed on your own. I mean, that's not a problem, but most people don't have the time or aren't in, contact with people who could actually do something.
Right.
They got about 4 or 5 artists that actually have some of their stuff on the website, that people can go and they can search what they're looking for in terms of style or topic, mm-hmm. and get in touch with them. I mean, get in touch with me, and I'll take care of getting them in touch with the artists in order to be able to to synchronize whatever they want to do, whether it's a TV commercial or a movie spot.
Yeah,
you get on a movie spot and the movie goes somewhere, you're in for some serious money. So, I mean, these things are deals that the synchronization people who want to use the music make directly with the artist. I just happen to, okay, you guys need to get together. And so, it's out there, and it's a meaningful way of actually making money. It really is.
Oh yeah. I mean, how many times have you heard a song on a movie soundtrack, or, watching a show and there's a song on the intro and you're like, man, who is that? And so you look it up online and you find out who it is, and then you start listening to their music.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Not only that, but every single time that movie is on, they get a chunk of change.
Oh, cha-ching, cha-ching, man.
Absolutely. That's part of the deal. They not only get paid for the use of it, but they also get royalties when it is used. That's the beauty of music licensing and synchronization, man. There's a lot of people that make a boatload of money just doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to get a chunk of that, man. That's all there is to it. We need to get a chunk of that. Well, listen, man, we're almost at the end of our time limit. How can people find out where you're gigging, get in contact with the group, pick up a copy of the Acredale CD? What are your social contacting things as far as your locations and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a Facebook page, and it's Acredale Music. So that's the best way to find out if we are gigging. Right now, we are not gigging. But as far as the music goes, I don't think anybody really buys CDs anymore. I printed some up, and, when we were doing live gigs, I was selling some like that. You sell them to your aunt and your uncle and your best friend, and, give a free one to your brother. And
well, you're absolutely right. I use them for promotional only now. There's the website that I have. You can download anything. You can actually full preview and just use it as a playlist. But if you want to have it in your collection, you can download it from the site.
Yeah, and then of course, we're everywhere. Any kind of streaming service, you can find us.
Yeah,
on that. So Spotify, Apple Music, blah blah blah.
Do you go through CD Baby to do that?
Yeah, that's what I did. So it's like worldwide distribution,
Oh, yeah. And they're easy to work with, too. So all you people out there that are thinking about digitizing and doing downloads, that'd be the place to go.
Yeah, and I think the next time I do a project, which Rob and I are talking about putting something out, we're just going to do a digital release. I mean, we're not going to.
Oh, absolutely.
We're not going to press any CDs, man.
I haven't done a CD since at least a serious, well produced, manufactured CD since Calm Before the Storm in 1990. So I put out a boatload of albums since then. So digital download is definitely the way to go. And streaming, a lot of people complain about the greed that Spotify and the rest of them might have, which is absolutely justified. But it is the way that people access the music these days. So. Well worth it to actually, get your stuff out there in a digital format.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. And of course, you can listen to lots of good stuff on Radio Seva.
Dang, Skippy. Ain't no doubt about that. Thanks for the plug, brother.
Yeah, man.
Well, listen, man, this has been fun. You really made a really strong impression on me, man. Way back in the day when you were with Sierra, we used to go out and listen to you guys play. I love the Acredale album, and I really appreciate your support of the station. You were one of the people that showed up for the first meeting, and that's held a special place in my heart for a long time. So I hope you have a great evening, man. Really, thanks for the time, sharing your ideas and your memories and stuff like that with our audience, and look forward to putting this out, and look forward to hanging out sometime, man, face to face, whether it's just talking or playing or whatever.
Sounds good, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Okie dokie, buddy. Take care.
You too.
Check out Radio Seva by going to the Seva Sound homepage and clicking Radio Seva, or to live365.com and search Radio Seva. If you have any questions, comments, or topic ideas for SEVACAST or for Tom and Alton, go to sevasound.com and click on the Contact tab.